Premium clients, they are not mythical unicorns, CEOs in suits. In today's episode, we're going to talk about bad clients. Yeah. When we're getting the wrong kind of clients that is either not fulfilling the promise because they are the wrong fit, or their personality type doesn't match to the avatar that you wish you had. So we're going to talk about it, and we're going to break it down. We're going to breed some value into this so that more coaches can have better clients, get better results for their clients, and grow their businesses. I mean, that's what it boils down to.
We're talking about bad clients, but bad clients is just someone who paid you, who came in as a bad lead, probably. So I think it's important to look at the marketing, because leads turns into clients. So if you're having any bad clients, you probably also have bad leads.
Yeah, and there are so many ways or so many places where we can figure that out. The last most obvious phase of that is within your delivery. So if you're currently delivering to people who isn't willing to do the job, or who constantly has different circumstances that keeps them from being able to progress, or if they have objections to the curriculum or to the stuff that needs to be done or anything like that, it is important to, first of all, identify when it's being said. It's not because of you, so don't take it personally, first of all. Secondly, it has all to do with you.
Yeah.
Because you've attracted that person. And the good news is that you can change it.
Yeah.
But we need to learn. And like I said, there are so many different places where we can figure out what's the lead quality.
Yeah.
You could do it in the sales call. You could do it in the qualification. You could do it in the nurturing sequence. There are so many things that you could actually investigate. Because if you can realize that most of the people that you get, let's say to a sales call, have a different quality than what you need to be able to run your business efficiently, then you can know that you're attracting those people with the way that you're speaking. So it's a language thing. You have attracted them, and they are attracted by the way you speak.
I think it's easier to hang along with us if we define, first of all, what is a bad client. Yeah. Second of all, if we are not mixing together leads and clients, we see it because that's what you're speaking about. Where in the funnel are we speaking about? You said something interesting.
Thank you.
And that is that every bad client is about you. So what would you say is the number one thing that you get bad clients?
Well, but first of all, you need to be able to see it from a perspective where you don't take it personally. So I want to emphasize that don't take it personally, because it's not their feedback is not because of you. But when you dissociate and are able to look at the characteristics and the phenomenon, why is this happening? Being dissociated, which means not emotionally attached to the thing that's going on, that's where you can find the gold. And you can realize what are the common denominators when you speak to, if it's one client out of 20, don't bother. I mean, because that's not a problem. That's not bad clients. It's a bad client or a bad fit. We're always going to see that, because there's so many things that can happen. They can buy your program. They can enter the program. They can be super excited. And then their motive can change throughout the program, which is not of your fault. So that person should be in the program, should have bought the program, and should have gotten the result, but it changed its priorities. So that can happen. But when it happens frequently and you realize that most of your clients are struggling, most of your clients are getting down in a bad spiral, most of your clients are X, Y, or Z, but that isn't according to your idea of your curriculum or the path that once you were in their shoes, you walked it differently.
But now we need to define then, what is a bad client?
I would say that a wrong client is a person that comes in for whatever reason they bought, like the reason they bought is whatever. But once the kind of excitement cools down, they're not implementing and doing the job properly. That is one of the clearest signs of a bad client, because they're constantly relying on excitement to move.
It sounds like a high maintenance client.
Okay, so yeah, we could say that.
I believe it's different. For me, different things that is making it hard for a client to move. That is something different than having a bad client. That's having a support system that might not be functioning 100%. A bad client for me is someone who is not coachable.
Yeah.
who doesn't follow what you're saying. It's someone that is not a great fit with your personality type.
I like what you said about high maintenance because it says a lot. Your program is designed to be followed by a specific kind of avatar, a specific kind of individual that is suited to both follow it and produce results with the structure and the help or the system that you've created.
A bad client starts as a bad lead. I love what you said in the beginning about you get the people that you attract. So it's about the language you're doing, but it's also important to understand what is a bad lead or what becomes a bad client. Well, just had a client call today, and a lot of coaches believe that a bad client is someone who can't pay, or lead who say they don't have any money. Yes, you can definitely speak to attract people who have more money. You can definitely do that. But you're probably not completely avoiding attracting people who don't have money.
No, and I think that's really good. And
you can be a great lead, but have a financial situation, or
for sure,
or be afraid of investing.
Yes, and then you can figure it out and you can make it happen anyway. But I think a pretty good thing to include here is that, first of all, your program and your offer was created for a specific kind of person to go through and create results out of.
Yeah.
Now, we want to look for disalignments in your marketing, the language that you use that doesn't correlate with the offer that you give.
Yeah.
Because that is the ultimate equation that produces bad clients with consistency.
Yeah.
And it's so much easier than you might think.
Yeah.
There is a ladder that I love that all coaches should know, and it's 4 different levels. You either speak to people at the bottom, they're bleeding, they're at the lowest level, and I'm not talking in society, I'm talking within your niche. Then we have people who are slipping, we have people who are stable, and we have people at the top who are leaders in the industry. Now, the further up you go, the more serious leads or the serious people you're going to be able to work with, but the higher demands there will be on your language. Because if your language is weak, or if you're off topic, or if you don't show that you can facilitate a thought pattern or like, then you're not going to attract them.
Yeah.
So let's say that you sell something for 20,000 euros and then you speak to a lower level people, then you're not going to sell many tickets of your program. Now, the other part of it is if you speak to the bottom people, which is usually very unhealthy, you're never going to attract anyone above those stages. Because if you speak to the bottom people that are brand new, starting out, they're at the beginning, the first kind of glance at the journey that takes them from where they've been to the result that you create or help them create, you're going to speak a language that speaks to that beginner. So a person who is more slipping, meaning they've built some stability, but they haven't been able to consistently uphold that stability, then they're not going to be able to find your content appealing, or they're not going to be attracted by it because you're speaking to people in the very big early stages. If you're speaking to people who are slipping, you're not going to get the people who are stable or leaders. If you're speaking to stable people, you're not going to get the people who are leaders. But if you do it effectively and if you get your marketing right, you're going to be able to speak to people who are stable and still be able to attract the people below, because human nature is aspiring. If we're taking our niche for an example, if we speak to coaches, which we did in the beginning 6 years ago, we help coaches make their first 10,000 euros in their business. Coaches who've already been in the game for a year, 2 years, 3 years more, they weren't interested in that because they've already made their first 10,000 euros. It's nothing appealing to them, which meant that we only got beginner coaches. Today, we're speaking more to people who are stable, who are already doing consistent revenue, already making money in their coaching business. And we still get 95% of the leads that we get are still beginners, even though we don't speak to them. And I want to distinguish the importance of language, not just that we're speaking to them at the level that they're at, but also the words that we choose to say to attract them is going to have a huge influence. There will be a lot to benefit for you if you started to attract and speak to the people who are a little bit more stable. Please go ahead.
I just want to clarify, having an avatar like us who's a beginner coach for our beginner program has nothing to do with the bad lead or great lead. You can be a great lead and a beginner.
Yeah.
And you can be a bad lead and come a far way. So that those
And
two are not correlating.
Yes, and you need to look at the result of what's actually happening.
So if we're looking at what does it mean to be a bad lead, it's someone who would not be coachable, require a lot of effort, probably not gonna be willing to invest, or are gonna be high maintenance, even in the admin on getting the payments and all of that. So it's someone who will drain you and drain your energy, and someone you just don't want to waste your time on. So how do you attract people? Well, 2 ways to look into your marketing to avoid attracting those people you don't want. Like you say, the language, you don't want to have a language pattern that is, you will more likely attract people who feel they needed to be taken care of, rather than attracting people who believe that they can take care of themselves, but they just need some guidance and coaching. And then, of course, the energy. People get attracted to the energy you show up with. What kind of energy? Do you, like, if you are honest about the content you're writing or producing video content, is that content coming from a place of an energy that would attract people you want? Or would it attract people like who would align with a lower level energy? Does people who are serious, do they see themselves in your being with you?
Yeah.
Do they want to hang out with you?
Yeah.
Are you fun to hang out with?
Yeah. And there is a correlation. I know a coach that is constantly, so he's, like, I've spoken about him before. I've never said his name. I'm not going to. In the last 3 years, I think he's changed his niche 15 times on the same subject, to a degree where it almost looks ridiculous. It boils down to who you are as a business person, who you are as a coach, who you are as a client yourself. Those are the kind of people that you will attract.
Yeah.
And here's a lesson that you can steal if you like. Me and Sanne, we are such easy clients.
Yeah.
We demand so little. We have a high standard.
Yeah.
So we make sure that it upholds the standard, but it's super easy to just deliver the stuff.
Between clients.
Yes. And it's by design. It's a decision that we've made to be good clients, because I want to demand from my clients to be good towards me.
Now we're talking about something I think is so important, because we're talking about standards.
Yeah.
You get what you allow.
Yeah.
You track who you are yourself.
And what so many people doesn't understand, if I give another example that I have top of mind, is another person who's never been a client of ours, but that I know pretty well. He is helping businesses to build businesses. He has been doing businesses for a long time, and as a consultant, he made a little bit of money. But today, he doesn't want to do consulting anymore. He wants to go like full-time coaching, and he is doing that with a kind of in and out behavior. So it's very periodic. He shows up, he disappears. And during the summer, he was traveling. So he was doing street music. He was living at hostels, and he was constantly talking about, it's nothing wrong with the lifestyle if you love it. But you cannot speak about like nickels and pennies if you want to attract people who wants to build a serious business. So you can't say like, today I've made 120 euros, and it means that I can stay at a different hostel than I did last night. I don't have to share it with 45 alcoholic, most terrible circumstances. If you speak that way, you're also giving away, this is the standard I have of living. And it's just the same thing as you don't go up a person that is clearly overweight to ask how to lose weight. You don't do that.
No,
it's completely...
So live a lifestyle you want your clients to do.
Yeah, or
you...
even more importantly, live the lifestyle that your client wants to have, and induce that in a way that suits the way you want to live. So, and that's been a journey for us as well. What have we done since we started? We've paid several €100,000 for a car.
A Range Rover?
A Range Rover, amazing car.
It was so nice.
It costed us a lot because we were taxed personally, and we paid it in the business, and it was just a nightmare, and it cost so much to just refuel. We fly business class. We've done all kinds of cool stuff. We've driven cool cars in the US. Like, we've done a lot of cool stuff. Today, when we're looking at what does our lifestyle look like, well, our lifestyle, the luxury that we built and what we choose to invest in is our ranch. We're developing the place that we stay. We want to be left alone. We want quiet. We want peace. And then we also want to be super serious about the things that we are passionate about. And that combination is something of our creation. And for me, it took a long time. I'm raised in the capital of Sweden. I'm born and raised in a loud and noisy environment. And then I moved out here. And for me, it was strange to become that person who just suddenly leveraged that I'm a country guy that loves the lifestyle that I'm building here. Because I saw myself as so many different things before I moved here.
Yeah, we made a lot of money. In the beginning, we spent a lot of money on a lot of, I don't know how many designer bags I have anymore. I don't know how many expensive jewelry I have.
We still spend a lot of money, but on different things.
We still spend a lot of money on different things. We still like to travel, and we still travel business class because it's just nicer. And we still do that. But can you connect that to what does that mean in the term of attracting great premium clients and bad clients?
First of all, why are we building a business? We're building a business so that we can be more reliant on ourselves and build a lifestyle of our desire. If that's not for you, then don't run a business, like get a job somewhere. You can rent Ferraris and pose with Ferraris and do that kind of marketing. You can rent the studio where they put you in a like half of a private jet and take pictures of you and like it looks like you're flying private with clouds out the windows and stuff. You can do that. I don't like it. I will never do that.
No, it's super fake.
Well, yeah, but there is a lot of that going on, and we've seen it for so many years by both new beginners and serious coaches. On the contrary, today it's more effective to find something unique that makes you stand out, that you've built something for yourself. And I promise you that no matter if you're a life coach that helps people with stress, or if you are a business coach that helps businesses build big businesses, they will look at you and they will judge you. And they always will. Meaning that you want to represent the personal brand that allows people to be attracted to who you are. And that's the bottom line of all of it.
That's just the first step.
Yeah.
And that is about your marketing. What kind of leads do you attract? Well, it depends on who you speak to. The second thing is that you do have qualified people in the DMs. I don't know how many people I've met now that's saying, well, I got this one on and it was really the wrong person I had on the sales call. I would say if you're doing a DM funnel like we teach our clients, you should not be having sales calls with people who are not. You should disqualify them immediately. That's why we do the DM, so you don't need to waste like half an hour, 45 minutes on a sales call with someone who's never going to become a great client to you.
Become a client at all.
Yeah, so that's why you should disqualify people in the DMs. That is like to filter out. And this is where you first of all figure out, do you believe this is a fit in the way they answer and how they show up? But also, how do they speak? So a great way to spot someone who will for sure or with a high certainty become a bad client is to look for victim mentality. This is not my fault. Everything else is to blame. And they blame others. If they've been in other coaches or work with other, and they blame them and say that was just horrible. So they're using a blame language. Another thing is if they have unrealistic expectations. I literally had a call sometime with a person who never made a cent in her business. Her goal was to make 400,000 euros next month in her first month. Yeah. It's like, immediately, well, I'm not going to be able to help you to make 400,000 in your first month.
And because I don't want to be a part of that disappointment on the other end of you going for something and then capitally, you completely miss out on your goal, because I don't want to be a part of that equation. I think that's a super good description of what that could look like. Another thing is when they need to be convinced that it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Don't convince people.
No.
If they cannot convince themselves, like here's what's going to happen. If you convince someone in a sales call, you're going to have to convince them to do every freaking assignment throughout the entire process.
And you don't want to be a mom. And that's again about standards.
Yes.
It's about what do you accept. I do not accept being moms to anyone. Like if you don't want to run a business, don't run a business, but it's not about me. That's on you.
Yeah.
I'm here to help people who are serious about running the business and who are already committed.
If we're kind of wrapping everything up around this, it comes down to standards. If you have high standards in your program, in your delivery, in your execution, the decisions that you make, the actions that you take, and the results that you produce, if you create a high standard together with having a high standard for the life that you want to create, that doesn't mean that you need to be further ahead than you are. Like when we started coaching, we were doing our education in the basement. So we recreated our closet and we created a studio in our walk-in closet.
And now we're in our stable.
yeah. Well, it's built as an actual studio this time, so it's a little bit better. But it's important to realize that you don't need to be further ahead than you are, but you need to take a stand for something, and it needs to be connected to some serious standards that allows you to be an inspiring person that people wants to follow. Yeah. And it doesn't matter if you're a business coach or a health coach or a mindset coach or a life coach, a relationship coach. It doesn't matter.
So live an awesome life, showcase it, and have standards that support creating that lifestyle. And you will naturally attract. If you want to have high expectations on others, like have high expectations yourself. So walk before everyone else. Yeah. And you start attracting people like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And take a stand for something.
Yeah.
Move
awesome. I think we got around it.
If you like this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to follow.
And let's add an avatar GPT. We have a custom GPT to walk through and judge your avatar, because you might be speaking to the wrong person. So while you're wondering why you keep attracting, there's a custom GPT that can help you with that. You can find the link below.
Use it, and it's going to help you in your business right away. It takes like 5-10 minutes, and then you're going to be smarter. See you in another episode.